welcomes to Bodymore, the training ground of Aston Villa, as we welcome you along to the 5th edition of the Premier League Next Generation Cup. It's a competition that has evolved over the years since starting in 2020 as an under-14s and 15s tournament to now a 4-day event involving 8 teams: Aston Villa, Everton, Tottenham and Crystal Palace from England, 3 Indian sides: Muthoot FA, East Bengal FC and Punjab FC, as well as Stellenbosch from South Africa. To give you a little bit of context about how the competition works, it will be 2 groups of 4 being played over the next 3 days, with the winners of each group playing in the final at the Loughborough University Stadium on Sunday at 4 o'clock local time. And it's a chance for me to bring in my co-commentator Ollie Sasson this afternoon. How do you think the players, particularly from India, particularly Muthoot, who are playing in this first game here, will be feeling coming into this, travelling to England, playing Premier League opposition?
Hi there, yeah. It's probably a bit of a nervous experience, I'd say, especially kicking off the tournament. I mean, you want to set an example. I think you want to prove yourself to be the best team in the tournament, but also you're competing against other teams. For example, from Muthoot, they want to be better than East Bengal. They want to be better than Punjabi FC. So I think this is a real test for them. Everton, likewise, want to show that they're better than their Premier League opposition. So it's about making a statement. It's not just this match for them. It's you're looking ahead from the tournament. This is what I'm capable of.
And you mentioned that because past players in this competition have gone on to play in the Premier League, in the Europa League, particularly George Earthy, who featured in the 2022 edition for the winners, West Ham United. And he actually scored a goal in the Premier League against Luton last season, had a Europa League appearance against Freiburg. So it shows that players in these tournaments can go on to play in the Premier League, in Europe as well. Do you think that's an extra bit of motivation for these players, both from England and from India?
That's what this is about, though, isn't it? It's the Next Generation Cup. These players know what's at stake for them, I think. They know people are watching. We've got viewers here. We've got people watching from across the world, and they want to do themselves proud. They want to do families proud, friends proud, clubs proud, but also themselves, and they know people are going to be here watching them. And as you say, the prospects are quite high and endless almost for all these players. They're young, they've got potential, and they've got time to really grow into themselves.
And in terms of the age group for the 2 sides, so the English sides taking part, they're at under 21s level, and for the Indian teams and South African side, Stellenbosch, that's I should say that's under 21 level, with the English sides under 19s level. And how the Indian sides got to this stage, there was a big competition over last season to get the top 3 to qualify for the Premier League Next Generation Cup. It was 57 teams involved, playing a total of 299 games. Punjab FC were the winners, East Bengal FC were the runners-up, and Muthoot FA were 3rd place finishers. That's our game, Muthoot FA against Everton, to kick us off on pitch 2 in the Premier League Next Generation Cup. So it's a chance now to take you through the 2 teams, starting off with Everton and how it's working over the 25-minute first half, 25-minute second half. It will be roll-on, roll-off subs, so the substitutions you see on screen will be heavily involved too. And once a player has been taken off, they can come back on again. So the likes of George Morgan up top for Everton. He could be coming off, he could be coming back on, getting goals. I'm sure he'll be wanting to do that specifically as the Everton number 9. And a familiar name also in goal in Pickford, George Pickford rather than Jordan Pickford, but I'm sure he'll be looking up to Jordan Pickford, that is for sure. And then for Muthoot FA, this is their lineup. Kamaleesh starts in goal. Adnan plays in the kind of wing-back role with Raj out wide. And the man up top, Krishna, will be looking to get the goals for Muthoot. Of course, as I mentioned, on the bench as well, they will all be featuring throughout the first and second half. So we're not too far away from kickoff here in the Premier League Next Generation Cup. It's a 10 a.m. kickoff local time, which is in 7 minutes time. And then the next set of fixtures for today will be at 3 p.m. local time here at Bodymore Heath, the training ground of Aston Villa. But do you think this is the time now, getting so close to kickoff, that the players will get a little bit nervous? We'll come back to that because we do have a pre-match interview already. Grant Ibokwe is down pitch side interviewing Anis Koreliaden, who is the head coach of Muthoot.
Coach Anis, how are you feeling today competing at the Next Gen Cup?
It's a great feeling that the opportunity to play against some of the best teams in UK, and it's a wonderful opportunity for my team to represent here to give a good challenge against top clubs in UK.
Amazing. You talked about the representation. What do you want our viewers to learn about Muthoot and Indian football over the next couple of days?
It's a great event for us to showcase our talent and courage and determination against top opponents. At this age, they are having a great, wonderful opportunity, and we are looking very positive about the opportunity.
And it wasn't an easy road for Muthoot to get here. You had to go through qualifying rounds in India. How did that go for you? What was that journey like to get to this stage here?
The journey was really wonderful because we had a couple of good games against top teams in India, and especially against ISL clubs. And we, as an academy, we did a great job there in India, and hope we continue the same way, the same performance here also.
Amazing, amazing. The weather's pretty good for England. I can't like. Was you expecting the weather to be this? Was you expecting this type of weather?
I hope the weather will be much more hotter, so we'll be having a greater advantage against the opponent.
It's true, you know, we don't really cope well with the hot weather over here. One last thing, how have you prepared your team to face some of the best young players in England and South Africa?
The preparation is reduce the number of mistakes, especially unwanted errors in important areas. Don't give away fouls and free kicks, so the opponent can capitalize any sort of this type of opportunity. So we'll be very cautious against this type of opponent and ready to challenge them.
Well, I hope you have an amazing time over the next couple of days. Very, very good luck. I'm going to throw it back up to the gantry again. Good luck, man.
So that's one thing that's certainly interesting, is that they wanted it hotter in terms of the temperature. We're finding it hot enough, that's for sure, in the gantry. But let's hope the heat is all on the pitch in what now 4 minutes time until we get underway and the Premier League Next Generation Cup kicks off. It's a tournament or a competition that seems to be getting bigger and bigger every single year. And one thing that I do want to mention just before kickoff is that the Muthoot FA players are wearing black armbands in support of the victims of the flood currently ongoing in their home state of Kerala in India. So they will be wearing black armbands for the game and throughout the tournament. But I was just going to ask you before we went to the interviews, getting so close to kickoff now, is this the point where the butterflies start kicking in? We can see the last-minute team talk from Muthoot FA. Do you think this is where they're really starting to feel the nerves, perhaps the excitement too?
Well, I think Muthoot are going to be very happy about the changing weather. From this morning, I can tell the viewers it was pouring with rain, floods on the streets as we were coming into the training grounds. But as soon as the players stepped onto the pitch, the sun's shining, really favouring Muthoot, the home sides. I think Everton will also relish in this. No one really likes playing on a slippery, wet pitch. So, yeah, the sun's shining. Hopefully it doesn't blind the goalkeepers.
That's one thing for sure, isn't it? The sun in the eyes of the goalkeepers. And I'd imagine the defensive players are always the ones that are most nervous in these kind of games. You're more thinking of not how can I make an impact, but how can I not make a mistake and show myself up. But I'm sure everyone's excited more than anything else. And it's been some trip so far for all the players who have travelled to England. They've had chances to play friendly games before the start of this competition. They've had workshops with the Premier League, so a lot of learning going on. It's not just about everything on the pitch, which is what makes this competition so special for these young players and helps the development of football in India and South Africa too, when Stellenbosch get involved in the tournament in this afternoon's kickoff. But the two sides have had their last two team talks, and we're just waiting now for the players to enter the field. And
yeah, both sides look quite confident. You can see on the sidelines just below us, all giving each other high fives, excuse me. Patting each other on the backs, coaches look raring to go. Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to be competitive and intense.
And it seems to, as you mentioned, have quite a friendly atmosphere. Everyone's here for good reason, to learn, to develop. We mentioned before about the players who have gone on from this competition to play in the Premier League. And both the players from Everton and I'm sure the players from Muthoot will also be having the same aspirations. But here come the two sets of players now on pitch 2 for our opening game. It's Everton against Muthoot FA in the Premier League Next Generation Cup 2024. This is the time where it gets exciting. There's been a lot of build-up, a lot of travel, particularly for Muthoot, and it's all for this moment now. As of course, it's not just the taking part that counts, it's the winning that counts, I'm sure, for these teams. Do you think Muthoot will be having their eyes on finishing top of their group to try and play in that grand final on Sunday at Loughborough University Stadium?
Oh, of course, and it's very plausible. Of course it is. These teams are very level. You've got under-21s versus under-19s. You look at both sides, they're both physically big, seem to be able to match each other almost stride for stride, and I'm sure they'll show that on the football pitch as well, not just by appearance. But yeah, they've got high aspirations. They're not coming here to roll over. They're coming here to show what the Indian teams are like, what football in India is like, and how much it's grown and developed. We know this by watching past seasons as well. Last season they showed themselves to be fierce opponents and fierce challengers, and we enjoy watching their football. We really do.
You mentioned that because last year the South African side taking part in the competition, Stellenbosch, made it all the way to the final, only lost on penalties against Wolverhampton Wanderers, so that's something definitely to be inspired by for Muthoot here this afternoon, as they have their last team huddle, their last team talk before kickoff. What do you think's being said, if you have any idea what could be being said in the last words before kickoff?
Give it your all, boys. It's the first game. We've got the nerves out of the way in our warm-ups. We've got the jitters released. Let's just give it our all. Let's show everyone what we're made of. I think no early mistakes. That's always important for a team. No early mistakes. Don't give the ball away too early. Yeah, just try and be attacking.
And we've got the two captains speaking to the referee as well just prior to kickoff. Both number 8s as well, sign off with Everton. Callum Bates along with Raj, who captains Muthoot this afternoon. So the last preparations before kickoff here this afternoon at Aston Villa's training ground. And we are almost set and ready for kickoff. But first, the players though, looks like they will be, perhaps will they be switching ends in the first half. And I'm sure you mentioned it, I think it's got something to do with the sunshine, that's for sure, which will now be in the eyes, I believe, of the Everton goalkeeper, George Pickford.
I'm not quite sure who made the decision. Either way, it makes sense for both sides. Say it was Everton who decided to shoot first towards the sun. You're thinking, all right, we'll claw it back in the second half. First half, don't make any mistakes, just try and stay in the game. And if it's Muthoot, you're thinking, let's make the most of this first half. Let's get our noses in front.
And it's a first half that will be getting underway any moment now. One last team picture from Muthoot before we get ready to get underway. Muthoot, who qualified for the Premier League Next Generation Cup by finishing 3rd in the qualifying competition. 299 games played between the 47 teams to qualify. So to get into the top 3 already is some achievement to be here. And their first challenge in the competition is to face Everton, who have travelled down from Merseyside to be here. But the final checks now going on from the referee. Before we can get going, we must mention that it's 25 minutes each half. Every time the ball goes out of play, the time will stop though, as it's Everton who do get us underway. As this is Thomas, a first touch for the young centre half. Muthoot laying it back towards Thomas again. And of course, we've spoken a lot about Muthoot, but how about Everton? It looks like they're taking the slow approach with keeping the possession, warming their defenders kind of into it on the ball, settling the nerves themselves as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a risky game. Of course, though, you want to keep the ball as hard up the pitch as possible, and they've managed to do that. They lost the ball quite quickly, but the press, you can tell, really good. They've got a lot of energy and spring in their step, so that might be a big tactic, a big thing going forward for them in this competition.
As Muthoot themselves are now just starting to creep forward into the Everton half for the first time. Sahad to take this through. It's given away quite cheaply towards the captain, Raj. Ashar will get there. They're still battling away on that far side. Referee quick to wave away any foul, and that's an important feeling to win your first defensive battle on a afternoon like this.
Well, if you think 25-minute halves, you've got the stop clock, of course, so should add some minutes, but they both started with a lot of pace, a lot of vigour in their play. They're really going for it straight away. They know how finite the time is, and they want to get that early goal both sides, especially Muthoot. You saw how quickly they ran down that right-hand side.
Everton enjoying the possession again though deep within their own half.
Yeah, Muthoot look happy to sit off. You can keep the ball in your own third, that's fine.
As Everton on the possession. Thomas.
Yeah, they're just taking their time, aren't they, Everton? Not really doing too much with the ball yet, but getting a feel for it. I think they're going to try and get forward as much as possible, probably as they grow more into the game. But Muthoot look in good shape. They've got a good defensive structure, look pretty solid, know their roles. And look, they're tracking their men. You can see on the far right-hand side now for Everton under 19s. They're just keeping with their man. They're following the ball, and when it gets back to the centre-backs, they're saying, keep the ball. You're fine, you're not going to hurt us.
There is Thomas once more for Everton. Smith now. Friedman looking to skip around the outside, will win the free kick for Everton. So this is Smith once more for the Toffees. Bates. But Muthoot sticking tight at the moment, not allowing any real gaps for Everton to try and exploit into. And that was a good challenge from Raj in the centre. And there might be a chance now to break forward for Muthoot. That was well cut out though.
There's real speed in this Muthoot side. You can see they're looking to get the ball out to their left-hand and right-hand sides. Whenever they get the ball, really, they're not looking to go through the middle.
There was a scream to go out wide, but it was a fantastic individual turn. And you can understand in a game like this the optimism to go for goal from so far out. A tame effort in the end from Mohamed Enes.
Yeah, you want the glory, don't you? As we were saying, a lot on the line for these players. they want the glory. They want their name to be in lights.
Here's Smith for Everton. Finding Thomas. Friedman going long this time, an important header one in there. Raj now. It's not the area that he'd want to be dispossessed, and Everton might have had an opportunity. They're still not done though, as that's a nice ball out wide, and it was dangerously flashed across goal. Move still alive. Stewart. And Smith now in the more advanced role. Bates. And it's a fantastic little chip ball round the corner. How about that for a flick, but the flag is up on the far side.
That was a super move from Everton, wasn't it? It's effective. First time they've really broke the lines of Muthoot FA, but they did it really well. They found the space. They know that they've got space in that left-hand side because Stewart's hugging that touchline.
Everton have it back though with Thomas now. Mim with the long ball forward. And Muthoot up the field again.
Really good interception though. I think that's got to be credited by Thomas. He read the danger really well. He had to stretch for it, but he did extremely well to cover.
It's just hard to take the throw. It's just too much for the Muthoot attacker in Krishna.
Struggling a bit from their throw-ins, aren't they, Muthoot?
Might be something to work on. Of course, it's only short halves, so if there is no kind of plan with the throw-ons in those advanced positions, of course, these days you see throw-ons that high up in the field, almost like a set-piece situation and a chance to really create something.
Oh no, 100%. You've got coaches now working at top teams for that. So yeah, they're really utilisable. They're really dangerous weapons, as you say, for clubs. But yeah, I think Muthoot just needs to calm down maybe a little bit in those areas, in those positions. Maybe don't have to work at such a pace. They can keep the ball, they can work Everton around, tire them out, because Everton right now look quite comfortable in their shape. They're not really sweating just yet, but it's not quite hot enough yet either to sweat.
Here's Thomas for the Toffees. It's going to be interesting to see at what point both these sides decide to make changes. Of course, with the roll-on sub system that's going on this afternoon. It's Everton at the moment looking to make a change to the scoreline, and it's a first big and important save from Anas, diving down to his left. Everton will still have the corner.
Yeah, no, good save there. Really good save. He did what he had to. Couldn't do much more. Interesting strike. Interesting decision to take the shot on. Maybe had players arriving, but he did. That's one shot on target if you're looking at the stats.
This is Beaumont Clark who will take the corner. He'll get it back again. Not a bad ball, that to the back post. Raj was able to get the important touch from Muthoot. So there's the strike towards goal. And that was an even better save this time round to keep it at 0-0.
No, that's a fantastic save. Sprung like a cat there. Incredible reflexes. That's what they work on in the training ground, though, goalkeepers. Whilst the players are doing their fitness, doing their rondos, these keepers are practicing their cat-like reflexes. And it's all to make saves like that in a single second.
Again, Beaumont Clark does have the short option from the corner. Delivery towards the near post was dangerous and important. Header away, which might just start a breakaway for Muthoot. Everton managing to pick up the pieces. Great challenge from Raj, not for the first time this afternoon, or this morning, I should say. Everton with the throw.
Everton growing into this now, though. Muthoot started really strongly, and they still got a good, solid defensive shape, but Everton's starting to find the holes, starting to pick apart the defence, the midfield, just evading it, kind of now playing through it, finding their wingers. And it seems like an effective tactic, perhaps something they've adapted to and adjusted to already.
And Everton just settling things down a little now. Thomas taking the direct approach. A fantastic ball to the near side. But the offside flag is up against Stewart.
Yeah, no, unlucky there from Stewart. He's been making those runs off camera all game, though, already in the first 8 minutes. I can imagine he's getting quite tired, a little bit of huffing and puffing. But, yeah, as the replay shows, just slightly offside there, getting ahead of his counterpart at right back. But, yeah, the signs are there. The signs are there.
This is Krishna now who will take this free kick from the offside. Muthoot's turn to take the direct approach. Everton doing their jobs effectively, but then giving it away. Mim. And just rushed on that occasion. That's the first chance for the goalkeeper to have a chance with the ball at his feet. Of course, has already made a couple of fantastic saves.
No, indeed, he might be in for a little bit more trouble here if Muthoot can't clear their lines effectively.
They've managed to get it out of trouble, and they might just manage to start their own breakaway. Fantastic ball to the far side. Ashar now looking to burst round the outside. It was strong defensive play in there to stop him in his tracks from Lambert.
But that's the pace we're talking about there. On the counter-attack, that's what they're working on. That's what Muthoot are really hoping for, drawing Everton into their half and then just breaking.
And again, it's not quite what Muthoot would have wanted from the throw.
10 minutes gone. And it's their number 9, Rory Wilson, who strikes it into that bottom corner.
Everton happy to enjoy the possession for now. Here's Smith.
Yeah, Muthoot just sitting off a bit more now, perhaps preserving their energy. It's a long game still. It is getting warmer, but we were told by the coach, Muthoot do want that. So, look, maybe it tires Everton more so than the Indian sides, who are definitely more acclimatised to such weather than they are in Merseyside.
That's fantastic play on that far side, and Muthoot now driving on forward, looking for their first big chance of the Next Generation Cup. Everton standing strong defensively. Beaumont-Clark. Graham playing it back towards the number 7. Beaumont-Clark again. This is Thomas.
They are seeming to choose the possession-based style of football. They've got the direct route on all the time with Stewart, and they look for him again. But it's released now, a counter-attack.
It's an important interception there from Smith, just to slow things down. The move not done because there will still be a throw for Muthoot.
Yeah, and they're happy with that, aren't they? They don't seem fazed whatsoever by the passing moves by Everton at all.
Hard. And it was almost better there from Muthoot on the near side from the throw in the advanced position. Just trying to work their way on the ground around Everton.
Yeah, they're playing nice football. 1-2 touch passing in tight spaces, and they're getting around their players. I think, though, the one-on-one defending from Everton's really been top class. And the interceptions side of it as well, I think Clark's been phenomenal. Thomas, has been phenomenal in that area. He just knows where to be. His defensive awareness has been incredible for the opening 10-11 minutes of this match.
Everton enjoying the possession again with their goalkeeper, Zankic.
No rush, is there?
They're happy to wait for the pressure from Muthoot, who aren't giving in. They've got their way of how they want to set up defensively this morning against the Toffees. It's moved over to the far side. Muthoot playing it on out wide. Muthoot able to win it back again. They're going for the early ball in behind. Kashina's going to get there, and he is going to win the first corner of the morning for Muthoot.
Again, direct, down the line, running in behind. They've got a clear tactic. And Everton are dealing with it so far, but it's still causing problems. They've conceded a corner from it, conceded a shot as well. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. Unlike it is here, actually, at Aston Villa training grounds. We're still waiting for that rainbow, though.
As Kashina, who wants to be on the goals, well, he's going to hope to be provider from this corner for Muthoot. Towards that near post, it almost flashed the whole way through. Vital defending in there from Smith. And an anywhere will do kind of approach to the clearance in the end. That's by far the best chance Muthoot have had so far.
Slightly fortunate. It just evaded everyone in the box. Everton defenders couldn't really find the ball because it dipped so low, it almost at knee level.
Smith going infield. A lot of the possession has been enjoyed on that far side for Everton so far. But we can just see that Stewart's always free on this near side if Everton do want to go for that diagonal.
No, exactly, and it's something I've been watching a lot. He's making those runs, constantly hugging that sideline, and he's not being picked up because they're quite narrow in shape, Muthoot. So I don't know whether it's a tactic. He's almost their secret weapon. They don't want to release him too often to make him that much more effective. But yeah, he's got that fast burst of pace, and he looks like he's dangerous anytime he's been on. Their main chance came from him. So I think they really want to try and get him into the game more.
With a concerning sign that you don't want to see from either side is any potential injuries. Avijith is back on his feet, which is the good news for Muthoot. But it might just be the first opportunity to think about substitutions for either side. Everton definitely look the more likely to be making some potential changes. Of course, unlimited substitutions allowed with, what, just over 10 minutes until half-time.
Well, the tactical board was out. You saw the little fridge magnets moving about.
That's Thomas now. Bates making his way out wide. Getting it back again here, the number 8. Not quite the touch he would have wanted. Muthoot were quick to pounce.
Motos has been a powerhouse so far. He's running everywhere. He's really following his men, he's pressuring. He's really doing a lot in that centre of the park for Everton. Almost like a one-man midfield at times. And he's looking silky on the ball too. A couple of ball rolls, a little dribble.
And it just shows how big this competition is for not just the teams travelling from India and South Africa, but also the teams here in England.
Yeah, they're putting on a show.
Everton looking to follow the likes of the last two winners, both from England, both Wolves and West Ham. Not involved in this year's edition of the Premier League Next Generation Cup. But it was the impressive final performance from West Ham in 2022, an 8-0 win over Spurs, which I'm sure would have played a part into the reason why the likes of George Irvie have made Premier League appearances since. And players from Muthoot and Everton, I'm sure, will be looking to do the same maybe in a couple of years' time, or maybe even sooner. As Muthoot wins themselves the free kick.
Fluid football again there from Muthoot. That's what they're doing. That's what they're playing to really achieve in this tournament, and hopefully they continue it, because it's really exciting to watch for us. It's a fast tempo, and they think that's what bears fruit for them. Well, it must have. They qualified, didn't they? Third out of, what did you say, 47
teams to qualify.
So it can't be a bad tactic.
It is Raj. Wasn't the pass he wanted, but he did well just to stop any kind of danger on a breakaway.
Yeah, good recovery. Mistakes happen. It's about how you make up for them sometimes in a game of football, and he's done well there. Sussed out the danger that really could have been quite hurtful.
Thomas moving it across the back line. Not quite what Everton would have wanted on the far side. And Muthoot have often been quite quick to get it forward every time they have possession in these kinds of situations, like they will here from the throat.
But then they've lost it a lot. I think maybe they do. 'Cause I said in like the first 3 minutes, perhaps, they might want to just slow down from these set pieces, really, as you called them.
So go long down the line again. Everton able to pick things up swiftly and get themselves the throw now in pretty much the same position on their end. Here's Thomas for Everton. It's definitely not an aggressive press from Muthoot, but they're not allowing Everton to really go anywhere on the ball.
No, you see it's a solid line. They come out, press their man when it's a one-on-one situation, and then they retreat again. It's really difficult to break down.
And they almost picked their right moment to win it back there. That was a nice ball in field, and that was nice work from Everton. Now on the near side, Stewart. And the deflected cross is cleared by Raj, second time round. And it was a loose header back, and this could be a chance here for Muthoot, but a fantastic recovery challenge to deny the number 9, Krishina.
Yeah, that's goal saving, isn't it? That's world class. Second keeper there, they've got Everton.
Well, Friedman had to make sure he made up for the error, that's for sure, after the initial poor header back to his goalkeeper.
No, and he did so, and some. The goalkeeper was caught out a bit there, Bickford. But no, he had Freeman to thank again. It was a bit of a mix-up, but it happens.
You mentioned before, it's not about the mistake, it's how you recover, and Friedman very quick to recover.
Exactly, and that's what gets you noticed as well. He keeps his heads, keeps his temperament, and that's really difficult. It's a mental sport as much as anything football. Obviously, you need to have skill, but you need to be able to stay composed. You need to be able to keep a cool head when you make a mistake, and you need to just play on.
So this could be a chance to drive on forward. There's the shot towards goal. Wasn't quite the accuracy that Beaumont Clark would have wanted, but another half moment there for the Toffees.
Yeah, I think it's his second attempt now of the day. First one was a bit better, did force the corner, but looking a bit rash. He's looking for the shot. As soon as it opens, he's going to take it. He's definitely looking to open the scoring himself. Whereas Stewart on the other wing, he's looked a bit more selfless. He's trying to get the ball in the box, he's getting crosses in, he's working it for his strikers. And they nearly had an opportunity as well just earlier, before, in fact, the counter-attack of Muthoot.
Important defensive work to do there. Anywhere will do moment. Raj wins the next header from Muthoot. Smith sold his teammate short. Muthoot unable to keep it. Smith back on it.
And that's Motos doing his job in the midfield right there. Robust tackle, but he wins the ball cleanly.
Friedman now. And the heat may be just taken to these Everton players.
You're just wondering, are they going to get tired of this type of football? Are they going to get tired of not getting the ball up the pitch? Are their attackers going to start dropping to receive the ball? Because it can become quite boring just being a spectator of your own match.
As Muthoot can think about getting forward now from this free kick. It's that annoying kind of position where, because it's so central, it's difficult to go direct into the penalty area.
Yeah, Everton were unfortunate actually to concede that free kick. It was just a slip and he caught the man on his way down there. So, as you say, awkward position as well though, but they're playing out to the wing.
Here's Sahad. Moving that wide to Arjun. It was a nice pick out as well to the near side of the penalty area. Arjun again will deliver first time. Fantastic ball, and it's still alive for Raj at the back post. Didn't get the touch he wanted initially. The move still not done though. Everton eventually able to scramble it clear. But Sahad will keep things going. Arjun. Another fantastic ball from the number 10, and it's always worth the acrobatic attempt, isn't it? But an illegal challenge from the referee's point of view, but there was a couple of needy moments there for Muthoot.
3 or 4 in the space of 20 seconds, really. The ball gets put into the mixer, what, 2-3 times in that space of time. But they just couldn't get the shot away. The ball kept getting stuck under their feet. I'm sure they'll be kicking themselves, Muthoot, if they don't manage to get a goal now, because that was the best chance of the game. 2 of the best chances.
It's Everton now looking to make their way up the other end and put their own pressure on Muthoot. That's a fantastic ball in behind. Everton could be in here out wide, and there's the low, dangerous ball in. And was it over the line? The flag has stayed down, meaning it does remain at 0-0. And we said that was probably the best chance from Muthoot just a moment ago. Well, there's Everton's best chance, probably inches away from taking the lead.
Well, indeed. I think it's the way to respond to that. Everton players haven't reacted too much. They're happy to just let the game go on. Maybe it wasn't over the line. We can't see as well as they can, especially as the linesman. You've got to trust the officials, play by the whistle, and that's what Everton have done, so fair play to them. But yeah, no, really close, wasn't it? Really close for them. Opening up now, the game perhaps. Yeah, you can see on your replay at home, it was just on the line. The keeper did really well there to keep the ball out, because he had to react quickly after the deflection off his centre-back.
So it's Krishna who will take this corner from Muthoot. They were close from their first corner of the game, but that's another dangerous ball in. Not a bad header too. Still not done there though. Following delivery is a higher one. Again, Everton get it clear. And it's not the effort that the number 7 would have wanted. Krishnan.
No, look, it wasn't the best chance. It was a good chance, but it wasn't the best attempt. But it was well within his right of taking that on. It felt perfectly for him, didn't it? But he just took his eye off the ball at the last minute. I think the most positive benefit you can take from that is, from what we can see, the pitch backs onto a tsunami of almost overgrown grass. But it was blocked by the fence at least, so we've retained the ball.
It would have been difficult. We said how the clock stops every time the ball goes out of play. We might have been waiting for a little while if it had been a little higher, the effort over the crossbar.
It would definitely be an expedition. Something I encountered on DFE, perhaps.
Everton enjoying the possession. Thomas moving it out wide. Again, Muthoot's not allowing Everton any gaps to exploit.
It does seem, though, for Everton, for all their possession around the back, their midfield don't get on the ball a lot. It seems to be the direct route they always have to settle for. And credit to Muthoot for that as well. But they might just get a bit more restless soon. And you can see now the wingers just coming into play there, Belmont. And he's had to drop quite a lot.
There's that diagonal that we've been talking about all afternoon. Stewart working it around the outside. Stewart trying to get to the second ball here. We've had goals on pitch 1. We're waiting for a moment that will break the deadlock here on pitch 2. We've had our nearly moments, that's for sure, as Everton trying to create another here, but Raj doing well defensively. Wasn't helping out his teammate though. Everton have it back. Lambert all the way back to the halfway line.
And you can see that Friedman did not want to pass it back. They were in the rhythm, had some momentum there.
And they might do here as Stewart plays it around the outside. Well seen and well defended. And the throw goes the way of Muthoot as well.
Yeah, they nullified the danger there. They stopped the crosses going in. They blocked them on the edge of the box. No shots were allowed in, and they've now got possession again. So Muthoot doing really well here.
Lambert. Nice ball in field. Lambert trying to join in again.
that one may have been lost in the sun. Not the easiest of days.
And of course, that's something that might play into it in the second half. At the moment, it's disadvantage Everton in terms of from their defensive players facing the sun in this first 45. Muthoot will go through the same problems in the second half. Everton trying to break the deadlock here. Beaumont Clark looking to burst around the outside, still going on, and a fantastic challenge. Beaumont Clark able to get to that second opportunity, finds the net, but the wrong side of it.
Yeah, it's a third chance now for Beaumont Clark, and he did really well to get past his man. Great defending there from Muthoot. He manages to get the second, but it was the narrowest of angles. You would have had to praise him immensely if he managed to get that in. But it allows Muthoot now to reorganise themselves, reassemble, find their formations, find their positions, and they're looking like they've got an attack now of 4, approaching 5 now as they drop further and further into the Everton half from this goal kick.
One that's sent towards Sahad, just too high for the number 6.
Yeah, perhaps with the clock winding down now, Tyler, they're looking to get that goal on the scoreboard. They don't want to go into the second half 0-0. Want to make advantage of that sun.
So it was Krishna who tried to take the direct approach to the penalty area. No runners in the box. Everton's turn to go direct. The Toots wanted the foul. They will get it.
It's a bit soft, I'd say. Slightly soft, but he did well to get his body in between the man and ball. And that's what you have to do as a defender.
It's that kind of decision which always goes the way of the defender, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the nature of the game these days. I think before our time, you could definitely get away with that. Since we've been on the microphone, not so much. But yeah, no, it's a bit of respite again for Muthoot. It allows them to get up the pitch. And again, they've put 4 or 5 men right up against the centre-backs or the central defence of Everton.
Muthoot trying to have a late first half chance, creeping further up and up the field with the throw now on the far side.
Asher and Krishna deserve a lot of praise, I think, this first half. They've been the focal point for their team when they're getting up the pitch, and they're the ones who are creating a lot of balls into the box, taking on their men one-on-ones. So I think if you're going to make substitutions, you want to keep them on for as long as you can. But also notice, 24 minutes in, first half nearly over. No subs. Unlimited available for them, but no substitutions.
I'm sure that's something we'll see a lot of in the second half. As Muthoot might have an opportunity here. There's going to be a shot from a long way out and a first big save. Move not done there though. As the ball played towards that back post, just too much on it. Muthoot still trying to work their way into the penalty area once more. That was important defending. But a good chance that for the side in yellow.
Yeah, swept up there by Beaumont Clark. They're doing his defensive work as a winger. But yet another really good chance. I think Pickford's taking inspiration from his fellow surname. It was a really, really good save there. It was bent into the far right corner, and he did so well to get across his goal. Raj
Playing it on forward. Both sides tussling for that second ball. And it's Everton who might be able to break away late in this first half now. That's an important challenge in the centre. Everton's number 5, Thomas, doing enough. Missing the challenge, but winning the throw.
Yeah, just on your replay now, you're also seeing that chance again. And what a fantastic save it was. But it has to be a great shot to be a great save. And you've really got to credit the attackers there of Muthoot.
Everton playing that long direct ball in behind. Graham now. Twisting, turning, laying it back towards Smith. Might just be the last chances for Everton in the first half. And importantly defended by Muthoot in what is the last of the first half action. There's been a lot of action, that's for sure. The only thing we have been missing is goals. We've been inches away from the first goal. Everton had a moment, cleared off the line. Muthoot had come close too, with flashes of crosses going across the face of goal, and an important save to be made from the Everton goalkeeper. But at half-time, it is Everton 0, Muthoot 0. And Ollie, what did you make of that first half from both Everton and, of course, Muthoot?
Well, I said it before the match as they were lining up and walking onto the pitch. It's going to be competitive and it's going to be intense. It started slowly. I think everyone can agree. After the 7th minute, both teams really picked up the pace, and Muthoot especially. They brought it to Everton and they made Everton play. They really made them play. I think Muthoot have done incredibly well this first half. Unlucky not to be ahead. Really unlucky not to be ahead. But similarly, you could say the same for Everton. Both had chances. Muthoot had the better, I'd say. More and the better. They did really well on those flanks. And I think Everton are really struggling to deal with them when they get up with such vigour and pace.
Both goalkeepers playing their big parts. Anas made 2 fantastic saves in the first 2 chances that Everton had fairly early on. And how important could they be now that we are level at half-time?
Oh, no, of course. Of course. I think he's going to be very happy with his performance as well. He's been good with his feet as well. Don't underestimate, I think, how important a goalkeeper's footwork is. And you've just seen it here in your replay. He's just managed to claw it out of his net. He's looking a bit worried as well, but he's got a helping hand from his linesman, or the linesman, not his. And then you've got now, again, the replay of what was in the final closing minutes of that first half of what a brilliant save from Pickford. So I think both goalkeepers are going to be happy with their performances. I think they've both had different tasks and they've had different struggles and challenges in this first half as well. What would you say about it?
I'd say, if specifically on the goalkeeper point of view, when you're playing in a competition like this, where you know players have gone on to play in the Premier League, in the Europa League, for goalkeepers, you want to make those first saves. You don't want to concede early. You don't want to make a mistake. That goes for defenders too. And we haven't seen anything like it. The only time we've seen a mistake really from any defenders, like I think it was the Everton centre-half Thomas, in fact it was Friedman, with his poor head back to the goalkeeper, but he was swift to recover, which is so important, and that's the thing that the coaches will be looking for, the thing you want to see to really take you to the next level. You mentioned it in the commentary in the first half, it's how you recover from the mistakes that are made and will be made, I'm sure, with the nerves for the players, which I'm sure the players who haven't featured yet, who will be coming off the bench at half-time for both these sides, might be going through now. Of course, we can see the tactics board being shown, particularly what Everton are planning, through a man very well known to the Premier League in Leighton Baines.
Yeah, I wonder if Muthoot are just watching our stream right now, seeing what's going on the Everton bench.
But do you think even seeing the coaching staff like Leighton Baines here for the Everton side is making them realise just how big this is? Not only travelling to England, playing in this Premier League competition, but it must be inspiring for them.
Household name, Leighton Baines. One of the best the Premier League's ever seen in his position. And I think a lot of these players will know that. We've all grown up watching the YouTube clips. We've all watched the highlights of 2010, 2011, such famous seasons. And I think a lot of these players are hoping to recreate them in their professional careers. They want to get into the big leagues. And from what we've seen today, they think that's attainable. I think that's attainable. I think their coaches do. They've had really good, strong performances. Each and every one of them have done their roles, done their jobs.
And the good thing from Muthoot in this first half, at the moment it's only the Premier League players or teams whose players have gone on to actually play in the Premier League for real a couple of years after. But the fact that the Muthoot have gone in level at half-time with Everton, they're really competing, it shows that they've got players capable of perhaps playing in the Premier League one day, perhaps even the Europa League or even the Champions League.
100%. And it can always be the unsung heroes. We've seen it in the past that don't necessarily get the mentions you deserve in game. They go a bit unnoticed, but they're the ones doing the grafting. I've mentioned Motos a couple of times, but you've also got a couple of players in that Muthoot sides who are really grovelling, especially the captain, Raj. I mean, you mentioned him quite a lot, especially in the beginning, and you didn't mention him less because he faded out. More so, it just became the run of the mill. He was everywhere. He really knew where to be.
And sometimes it's the defensive work which you don't want to focus on so much. You want to be the player making the difference, but it's that defensive work, isn't it? That's just so much more important.
The coaches love it, don't they? It's not what the pundits will talk about. It's not going to be at the tip of everyone's tongue, but a coach loves that. It's their absolute dream to have a player like that, and both teams have them in abundance, and I think we'll see more from the bench as well, because that's a tiring role. That's where it demands the most endurance. You've got your strikers, you've got Stewart, for example, you've got Krishna, who are making those runs constantly down the flanks, down the middle of the defence, trying to just penetrate the lines. But it's the midfield that really put in the hard work.
And then once the midfield win it back, Muthoot have been able to get themselves forward often. They had that chance, didn't they, where it was almost like 3 opportunities in one, where they just couldn't get that first touch right, couldn't get that shot away. I'm sure that's the point where we're thinking about the nerves, and they probably realise when the ball's coming towards them in the penalty area, this is their big moment, and they just lose that concentration right at the last, which is so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the composure, isn't it? You see it all the time. Everyone at home has experienced it. You can score 1 million goals in your garden. You can have the same opportunity in training. But in a match situation where so much is on the line, it's your first game, you know, everyone's watching, and we're seeing it here now.
That was it from Raj, wasn't it? That first attempt, and then the second one from the number 11.
So yeah, no, we did really, really well, unfortunately, for Krishna. He's deserved that opportunity. He really deserved that opportunity with his work rate, on the ball and off the ball, making his runs, running with the ball. He's put a lot of crosses in. So it was great to see him in the centre of the box this time and being able to shoot. Unfortunately, it just slipped. It bounced the wrong time, the bobble, whatever it was. These pitches are in brilliant condition as well. I think credit and applaud the Aston Villa training staff, the groundsmen.
One thing that no one would have seen just, an hour or so before kickoff is the very heavy rain that was pouring down on these pitches, but as you said, still in pristine condition throughout this first half, as I'm sure they will be throughout the tournament.
And the teams have complemented the pitch. Their football's been good. It's been a really entertaining game. We've enjoyed watching it. Certainly a lot of, not screams yet, but definitely cheers. Our voices have been raised. Yeah, we're really enjoying it, I think. And I hope everyone at home is.
And we've had big moments, as you mentioned, in the first half. All that we are missing is a goal, and I'm sure that will be coming in the second half. It looks like we are getting towards being set for the second 45. The referees are just below us, getting up, getting ready. The Everton team are having their final discussions pitch side, and some of the Aston Villa substitutes are just having a walk around there, scouting around, looking at the other teams in this competition. So it shows they want to win it. They're trying to get every opportunity, every advantage they can get.
100%, these are their future opponents. They have a better view than Muthoot do right now of the tactics boards. I mean, Baines hasn't got it up right now. The players are more just conversing, cheering each other up a bit, improving that camaraderie that we've seen so much on this pitch already. I mean, they love to pass the ball, and they move it so gracefully. They really do, from back to front, from side to side. They know what they want to do as soon as that ball comes to their feet. Unfortunately for them, Muthoot have been so solid in their formation, in their structure, and you've got to really applaud the coaches here. You've got to just take your hat off to them, and I think Everton will at full time. They can appreciate that as well, coach to coach. But yeah, they need to get the ball up the pitch more. They need to have that possession and passing on the halfway line. It's too close to their own box, and it nearly presented a goal, as we saw for Muthoot. So I think they've learnt from their mistake there. They really did.
And one thing that's been interesting is Coralie Adden has been very vocal in terms of how he wants his side, Muthoot, to press on that near side. And at some points he hasn't been too happy. At some points he has been impressed. But at least if they're not getting the press right for his liking, they're not leaving any gaps, which is why Everton have struggled for the majority of the first half to create big chances and have had long spells of possession, but only in their back line and not any further forward.
It's the wings where there's space. We've seen it in both teams. It's a narrow formation for Muthoot, and I think Everton likewise are playing conversely. They've got quite contrasting systems there. Everton are definitely quite out of possession a lot more. You've got the inverted fullback role, almost, where they're just underlapping. Stewart, for example, on the left, and then you've got On the right, you've got Clark with his opposite number just behind him, following in. But yeah, no, the manager's definitely been vocal. You can hear him. We can hear him, at least. You guys at home can't, but I tell you what, he's probably as loud as we are to you.
Louder, I'd say.
Yeah, no, but look, it motivates the players. Players love it. It really gets them going, and he can see more than they can. I think that's really important for everyone to understand and know. He can see the whole game, as we can, to be fair. But they can't see what he can necessarily. They can't see the run. They can't see who's behind them wanting to pass them the ball. He can't see where the next man is to press. The manager is so important when he's hurling those instructions to his players.
And one thing I must mention, of course, it's not just big for the players, which that's what we focused on. It must be big for the manager as well. You know, he's got his Muthoot side level at half-time against Premier League Academy opposition in Everton, creating chances. And if Muthoot, for example, you know, they finished third to qualify for this tournament, but if they were to go on to win the tournament, of course, it's early days. And as a coach for himself, what might he be looking at in the future, of course? So it is big for the coaches too, as we are almost set and ready now for the second half. Muthoot will be getting us underway for it, kicking towards the sun in this second half. I wonder how that's going to play a difference. So we're just waiting for the last checks. The shoelaces to be done. I thought these days there were no laces, to be honest. I thought it was that advanced, but Muthoot do eventually get us underway for the second 45 as Everton quick to win things back again.
Maybe Velcro's the next step.
25, I should say, not 45, of course, in this competition.
As long as there aren't too many stoppages, that is.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to have to wait and see how many of the roll-on substitutions there are going to be from either side. Everton do have 21 players with them. That is a chance for 10 potential substitutions in this second half.
It's very fluid, though. Very fluid football. Didn't have too many stoppages, which we were quite lucky to see, lucky to experience. It makes it much better viewing.
Definitely helps the flow of the game, doesn't it?
No, 100%. And the players will enjoy that more as well.
It is Friedman for Everton. Thomas spreading it towards Stewart. That was a theme in the first half. Wren now, can he get there? He prevents the goal kick, which Muthoot certainly would have preferred.
Especially with their current theme of throw-ins. Perhaps so deep in their half they would want to try and retain possession and even just get to their feet.
Everton are quick to win it back. Does seem very condensed on that far side. Muthoot can't keep it for long. Here's Smith. Intricately working their way around Everton. That was importantly cut out. And the goalkeeper, Anas, under pressure, was happy just to get it out anywhere.
He saw the pass, and fair play to him. Congratulate him for that. He just couldn't execute it.
Everton are enjoying most of the ball so far in this second half. Friedman. Well seen off there. There's the ball behind, and here's Shrina now looking to dart forward for Muthoot. Plays a low ball across goal. Important defending by Smith. And it's not quite done there. That's floated in. There's the header towards goal, which drifts on wide. But a good chance, like the best chance of the second half for Muthoot.
They got the shot away, but the managers, the players, their arms are up. The ball was just taken away by Krishna. The chance was there, it was on the half volley, it was perfectly set. And I don't know, maybe he didn't notice his teammates.
Shrina couldn't quite link up in the way he would have wanted to. And Everton have it back again.
Yeah, that could be a real wasted opportunity there for Muthoot. He's done so well to work it again down that left-hand side, playing the wings, drawing out the Everton back line where they don't want to be. But this is where Everton want to be.
As it's Lambert. Just overran it after darting forward from his wing-back roll. Toffees will still have the throw. It's a nice little bit of work round the outside. Dangerous ball too. Friedman to have pressure on him. So too now Will Pickford. Try to return it towards Friedman.
That was an awkward one though for Pickford to deal with. He's had a couple of those. Played short, and that one was just a bit too high, awkward knee length. So for him to try and redirect it back towards his teammate would have been a bit more of a challenge than a simple pass on the floor. I'm not sure he's too appreciative of that. But look, they've got a throw in here again, Muthoot.
Shah just dispossessed, but Muthoot have it back again. First time we've really seen Muthoot just enjoying the ball within their own half.
Yeah, it's a different style now. I don't know, maybe this is what they did in their qualifiers. They changed at half-time, try and catch their opponents off guard. It's not worked as well though. They still look better on the counter-attack. Well, now Everton are in their element, aren't they?
It's definitely been the theme from them this morning. Here's Smith.
Just outside your screen here, you just see Belmont Clark drifting into a more central position, helping out. I think it is George. And it's just allowing Lambert to drift into that right-hand side. They couldn't capitalise there, but it creates space, it builds numbers in the centre for when they do get that cross in. So it's a good tactic. They're just not making the most of it at the moment. I think they're struggling to still play in the middle of the park because it's so condensed, as you mentioned
Which is
earlier.
credit to Muthoot, isn't it?
100%, 100%. They're really working that midfield well. They're making it difficult for their opponents. And that's what they've come here to do. They've come here to make it difficult for Everton. They've come here to make it difficult for their future players, opponents, excuse me, again.
Not quite the clearance Raj would have wanted, but he was helped out by his defender. And that's more of a challenge he would have wanted. That might get Muthoot going forward down the other end. There's the ball in behind. Friedman under a lot of pressure.
He's done well there, Friedman. Stood his ground, used his body really well. Krishna nearly managed to win the ball off him, but no, it's just the physical presence there. There's a bit of a mismatch. You've seen that as well from crosses. And perhaps that's why they've struggled a bit more when getting the ball in the box, and it's been more fruitful for them when it's on the floor.
Fantastic challenge in the centre. And here is Christina, who thought about going for goal. It was a vital challenge right at the last.
And it's Thomas again. Thomas has been a brick wall today. Wherever he is, the ball does not pass.
As it showed again there. Everton are about to prepare a change. Finney is getting stripped and ready to be coming on for the Toffees. There's a diagonal left by Lambert, who's making that run round the outside. Important defending in there.
Just doubling up on him this time.
To move it over to the far side. Hard with some important defending in there for Muthoot. Everton not done yet though. And the coach just calling for Muthoot to get themselves up the field with Unus on the ball, and that's where he will go long for Muthoot. And straight away that now gets them possession up on the halfway line, which is what they'll probably take.
Exactly, they did it more towards the end of the first half. They're just pressing and pinning back that Everton defence from their goal kicks. They put 4-5 men against them, and it really gave them the options. But they seem a bit more apprehensive and tentative to do that so early on. Maybe don't want to concede first.
Well, Friedman, who probably made the best challenge of the game in that first half to deny a certain goal, he's just come off for Finney. An Everton change.
Yeah, he just slots in now, centre back. Also a big lad though, he's got the physicality to deal with the strikers who can't quite match them, we've seen so far, but they're very nimble and very good when the ball's on the floor. So that's where they're trying to keep it.
And Muthoot now giving it a go and passing it around the back, which again, we haven't seen too much of it. They have given it away. They have won a free kick, though. Otherwise, Everton might have been able to break away. Just the foul there on Bavajif.
Yeah, perhaps a bit fortunate there. He'd already dove in, but he caught him on the follow-through. It was just a trailing leg that did Belmont Clark there and won Bavajif a free kick. Deep in their own half, but a very crucial one. Really crucial to not be in danger.
Looks like they're going to go straight up the field with that free kick and straight down the line as well. Sheena will keep on chasing, and now this could be an opportunity. Left side of the box, there's the low ball in. Vital defending by Smith. And it has gone out for what's going to be a corner to Muthoot.
Well, why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't you go long when you can do that? I mean, that was brilliant. They really made the most of the long goal kick or long free kick this time.
And that first in-swinging corner we saw in the first half flashed right across the face of goal. That was dangerous. Let's see what they can do from the first corner of the second half. Krishna with that low delivery again towards the near post. Everton clear, only as far as Raj. Doesn't have too much going on around him. Smith will be able to pick it up for Everton. And fantastic pressure in there on Pickford, meaning the attack can continue. And Krishna, well, it's sat up nicely for him, that's for sure. It's not the effort he would have wanted.
No, not necessarily, but again, really good from Muthoot. They're asking for a new ball. I mean, they want to get this game going as quickly as possible. They don't want the stoppage clock to be racking up time and then playing 2, 3, 4 minutes extra of that 25. But really, really good there from Raj. He couldn't find the cross, but he was slightly off balance. The ball's behind him. It was a really difficult one to execute. But to bring it down in the box when so many numbers are there, he did really, really well. I think he's going to be slightly disappointed, though, that he couldn't create anything for his teammates.
The most important thing is that in a situation when there were so many Everton defenders around him, he was able to stay calm, able to find a teammate just to keep that move going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. And I think definitely Everton point of view, they're happy that just went out for a goal kick, or eventually went out for the goal kick after the effort. That was, again, definitely on for Muthoot. They've had a lot of those half-volley chances on the edge of the box.
This is a chance to dart round the outside and drift on in field. Raj now picking it up for Muthoot. Wasn't the pass he would have wanted. Krishna able to pick it up. Here's Raj. He's going to go for goal. And not too far away from the captain.
That was a better effort from, again, the edge of the D around that 20, 22 yards out. And he's caught that really sweetly. I saw him doing that in training just before the game as well. When they were warming up, testing the goalkeeper, he stung the palms of Anas a fair few times, and he nearly did the same for Pickford. Scrambled across his goal there. But again, danger there. They're not getting close enough to their man. They're not coming out and pressing, at the key points, Everton.
This is Finney. Muthoot have definitely been the better side in this second half.
I think that's a fair statement to make, Tyler.
But it's Everton coming forward now. That's some important defensive work in there. It was Anzil who was coming across.
Not seen as much of Stewart this half. I'm sure he'll be getting a bit frustrated. You can see him in your picture right now, just with his hands up, calling and begging for the ball, which he's finally received at least.
Not quite in the space he had initially, and not quite what he would have wanted to do with it once he was eventually found on that far side.
No, but at least Ren found the space this time. I mean, it's always open there. They're always coming over to this left-hand side of theirs, because Belmont Clark's receiving the ball a lot. But then Everton need to switch it. And that's what they're struggling to do. I think you've got to give credit to Muthoot, though, for that, because they're pressing really fast. They're not allowing the space for you to get that ball up and over, because it's just going to collide with one of their players, and they get on the counter-attack, and Everton look afraid of it. And for good reason. They've had a lot of good chances so far, Muthoot.
Christian's going to keep on pressing. But Finney gets there first. Raj, another challenge from the captain. We can see in terms of his on-field performance why he is captain, because it might create chances like this. Move not quite done there, as it will be a corner now.
Good defending from Lambert. Stuck with his man there, but really good there from Asher. He did really well again down this left-hand side. Christian taking the corner now, though. And hopefully, again, it can be similar to his first two, because they've been dangerous.
They've all been towards that near post.
Well, I don't think they've fancied themselves physically, height-wise. This Everton side are really tall, big group. And you've got a strong, solid back line for Muthoot, but when it gets to the front line, their strengths aren't necessarily going to be from a corner.
Everton are preparing more changes just below us as well. It looks like first this corner will be taken through Krishna. Striker making his way out wide, delivering low to the near post again. Wasn't the control that Muthoot man would have wanted. And now Everton playing it on forward, and this could be dangerous. There's a nice ball in behind as it's flashed across the face, and it's the opening goal for the Toffees in the Premier League Next Generation Cup. And it's Keane Wren who got the vital touch at the back post, and it's Everton who take the lead 10 minutes into the second half.
Well, you were just wondering if Beaumont Clark was ever going to pass that ball. The runs are being made to his left and right as the graphic's coming up on your screen now. He did so well to carry it for such a long period of time, but he's managed to find the pass, and it was perfect. And what can you say? Super, super pass, and he's found the teammate in the right position. It's Wren here, who's made the other run on the left-hand side of Beaumont Clark, and he's received the reward, hasn't he? He's got the goal, his name's on the score sheet, but I think you've got to really applaud and praise all three of them. That's a brilliant triangular move in an unconventional way. But yeah, that's disheartening for Muthoot, really disheartening.
I think they'll be disappointed, won't they? The fact it's come from their own corner as well.
Their own counter-attack kind of system. They've been beaten by their own game, it seems. But yeah, it wasn't the best of corners, I think. And Lambert did really well to get a lot of distance on his awkward clearance, because it bobbled just before he managed to hit it, but they couldn't keep the ball, and that's what happens in football.
And it's an important time now, isn't it, for Muthoot to see how they react to falling behind, make sure they don't concede a second in quick succession, because Everton are certainly in the mood for it now. So here is the goal scorer, Wren, laying it back to the latest of the substitutes. And Everton now can afford to be a little bit more patient on the ball. As Muthoot's able to win the free kick just to stop any breakaway.
Bit overly aggressive there, but the referee's just telling him, look, calm down. I don't kind of want this to get out of hand again. It's a friendly competition. We don't want injuries. We want good sportsmanship. And that has been a key theme of what we've seen so far. But they look like they want the second. They don't want to pass it around the back anymore. They've seen the weaknesses. I think Baines and the coaching staff of Everton have shown them the pockets of space, have shown them what to do, and they've executed it. Sloppy.
It's not the pass that Krishnan would have wanted.
No, they need to get this out of their game now, because they're just becoming a little bit complacent here. And that you can't afford to do that in these competitions at all.
That's a nice ball towards this near side. Everton looking to work their way down the right. Look towards the penalty area, straight back out, and now it could be a chance for Muthoot down the other end. Finney keeping tight. Got his challenge in there.
No, it was good defending. Good strength there from Finney. Substitute as well. He's picked up the pace and tempo pretty quickly, and it's definitely been harder to do that in the second half than it was in the first, which was much more of a calm tempo and atmosphere. But no, they're really going for this Everton now.
Here's Beaumont Clark making his way around the outside. Fantastic skill from the number 7. Just too much on the cross. Everton aren't finished though. This time it was a lower ball in, and owners comfortably able to pick it up for Muthoot.
They smell blood, Everton. They do. They can see that there is the opportunity to get their second here whilst they're still a bit unsettled, Muthoot. So they might want to just think about taking possession a bit, keeping it around their back line.
It's Muthoot coming forward now themselves, and it's kept alive at that back post, and it was just a rushed effort there from Ashar.
Yeah, this goal's messed with their heads a little bit, Muthoot, and it's hard to see because they were doing so well before Everton scored. So well, they need to find that headspace, that mentality that enabled them to play in such a fluid way, where they weren't anxious on the ball. They didn't want it to be released as soon as it came to their feet. You saw there from Asher, he just wanted to get that shot away as soon as possible.
There's the long ball in behind, well claimed by Eunice. And not a bad distribution out to Ashar, who's done well under pressure. Almost a fantastic take, but now Everton can come forward. Beaumont Clark. And fantastic skill from the number 7, who's going to go on here for Everton, who are looking for a second goal. As it's played back towards Wren, who's already scored once, looking for a second. And that was a nice ball, and Everton still aren't finished as they get the next shot away. And eventually smashed clear by Ashar.
Well, that's got into the hayfields. But this is a really big worry with Bavijif down. He's just had his foot caught in the turf. And that's always a risk when you've got a trickster like Beaumont Clark against you. It was brilliant footwork from Beaumont Clark. Take nothing away from that. It's a real shame to see, though, the effect it's had on his opponent. But then let's just talk about the move. You're seeing it on your screen. It's just flashed up there. He got the ball in. He found his teammate. They just couldn't get the shot away. Each one was blocked. Each attempt slightly tame. But it was really good footwork there from Graham as well, just at the end of that move.
Let's take a look at the goal. Talk us through it, Ollie.
Yeah, so again, Beaumont Clark just running through here. He finds the pass to his right, and you've got him waiting in the middle. No defenders around him, and it's a very easy finish for Wren. Anas has nothing. Has no other option but to really stand still. Because he can't meet the play, he can't meet the crosser, and he can't exactly close down the attacker. You don't want to close the space on your 6-yard line and block it because you're just going to have it slotted in. So there's very limited options, and the defence were just caught out. They couldn't get back in time.
And Muthoot have just made 3 changes. The likes of Abin coming on to the field, along with Adnan, I should say. Everton with the corner taken short as they were in that first half. It's their first of the second 25. Beaumont Clark. Raj doing his defensive duties once more. But Muthoot unable to fully clear. There's the low ball in behind, too much on the pass, so Muthoot will take that with the goal kick.
Yeah, perhaps that's in part of Beaumont Clark's game, which he can try and improve on. It's just that final pass. A couple crosses have been overhit. That pass again overhit. It's just about the weighting, and it's a really difficult skill to master. But dribbling-wise, he's been probably the best player on the pitch. Asher and Krishna are definitely matching him, maybe.
Everton coming forward now. Well taken under pressure there from Bates. Lambert. Finney now for Everton. Cat B now getting involved, playing it forward on that far side. Able to pick it up again here out wide.
You can hear the frustration down on the touchline below us from Muthoot's manager. He really wants his team to be keeping possession when they win it back, which they've done frequently, but they just play it straight back into the hands or feet, even, of Everton's under-19s.
Well, there's 8 minutes to go of normal time. Of course, there is stoppage time every time the ball goes out of play. So still a good amount of time for Muthoot to try and get back into things again.
Well, football's a game of moments, Tyler. And they've had plenty of them. This half and last. They just haven't managed to get the ball in the back of the net, as the scoreline indicates, and Everton managed to take their chance. They've been a bit more efficient, Everton.
And they might have their own moment now with Lambert flashing it across. Everton want the corner, but the referee doesn't agree.
I think Bates may be regressing, letting that ball go out of play now. Just a bit of a mix-up there. Always happens, but Muthoot aren't complaining. This gives them a chance again to get up the pitch.
And what a goal that is too, into the roof of the net. And he makes it
Well, Aston Villa have just scored over on pitch 1. Muthoot are hunting an equaliser here on pitch 2, as Everton lead by a goal to 0, thanks to Wren.
Fairly monotone first half performance with glimpses of technical brilliance. They were really ramped
Here's
up
Finney
in the
now.
second half, and it's that man there, Kocher, who came on after the half-time break.
Fantastic turn under pressure there. Belmont Clark as he looks to play it round through the gap. It's Anus alert.
Again, a little bit overhit by Beaumont Clark. You mentioned it, how swift the turn is, how silky the feet are. He gets his head up, he just can't weight it properly.
That's a fantastic ball in behind. Here's the goal scorer, Wren. Belmont Clark's going to have a go. In fact, it almost ended up being a fantastic delivery. And it was Graham who was stretching, but couldn't quite get the contact.
No, short-term cross there, as you like to see there. Graham was very unfortunate there. He did really well to adjust. He is actually being one of the players to be substituted right now, along with Beaumont Clark. But the two have paired really nicely. Graham's made a lot of runs that just sadly he hasn't received the ball from. I think the same fate Stewart has encountered too on many occasions down on the left. But Wren, look, he received a reward for his run, didn't he, when he scored his goal? But he's been making them. They're fantastic, really, I think, and they are breaking the lines. It's just the passes aren't being able to be made because of how well the midfield is playing for Muthoot.
We are just seeing the first of the rolling sub as Shah has come back onto the field. He was taken off. It is now on again, of course, something that can happen in this Premier League Next Generation Cup in the way it's been formatted this year in 2024.
It's a shame as well about Bovajith, I think, 'cause there's so many games still to come. We've still got, I think, for each team 4 more. So hopefully it's only a little knock and jar, and he'll be back in action tomorrow.
Sheena has made his way out wide and does win the throw, despite the complaints of the Everton centre-half, Thomas. As Muthoot, who haven't really been this far forward for a little while. Let's see what they can do now. Fantastic run, not a bad ball, and almost a fantastic strike. Was it Krishna with the acrobatic effort? Both of them went for it. Krishna with the contact just over the crossbar.
Wow. That's all I've got to say about that. That would have been a spectacular goal. And it wasn't far away. It really wasn't, just over the crossbar, but otherwise a bit lower, and it's going in. He should be really happy and pleased with that effort. Very respectable one.
And it would have been his last involvement as well. He's just come off the number 9.
Perhaps they weren't happy about the acrobatic.
It's not been the first time that their players have gone for that kind of effort towards goal. That's definitely been the closest with any kind of acrobatic effort that we've seen so far this morning.
Definitely. I think he'll feel a bit disappointed in fact getting such clean connection, not for it to nestle in the top left-hand corner. But Pickford looked worried from such a ambitious effort. He really did look a bit startled.
That was important defending in there from Krishna.
Muthoot will be hoping for more of the same of that though now, with only 5 or so minutes.
They probably needed that moment, didn't they? Because it all just quietened down from an attacking point of view for them since Everton took the lead.
Yeah, no, you're totally right there. It was the first probably big chance they'd had after the 3rd minute of the half. Everton really have controlled and shown a bit more the
two-manship kind of approach, the taking your time, especially with the narrow lead.
We like to call it game management these days, don't we? I think
that's a nice way of putting it, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, but no, it's so important to the game these days, isn't it? And again, look, we've seen Everton completely change their game the second half. They've gone to pass really more around the halfway line, getting the ball much quicker up down the flanks, through the middle. They've found more space. And they've just gone back now, retreated, allowing themselves to play it along the back. They're comfortable with their 1-0 leads. And they also are aware of the threat at Muthoot pose.
Which you've definitely seen more over the last few minutes in this second half as we go towards the final stages.
That was agonising, wasn't it? Nearly the interception on the edge of the box.
As Everton coming forward themselves now, looking for a second, looking to kill things off, as it was a nice ball in behind, but the flag is up.
Yeah, lucky with the offside there. But a really good run there from the substitute. He was well aware of the space, tried using it to the best of his ability, but no, the high line there from Muthoot, that's caught Everton out a fair few times this game, and it's done its job once again. I think they really have been brilliant in their structure, their formation. The manager can be very proud and impressed by his team from that side, and they've shown really promising signs going through to the next games in this tournament, and there's no reason why they can't finish high in this group. They've still got plenty of time even to equalise, Tyler.
Everton enjoying the possession. They know that threat, as you mentioned, but now they're coming forward looking for a second. Nice ball around the outside. This time the run is held. Roberts, oh, he went for goal. Did it come off the crossbar? Perhaps. Dangerous either way. Everton not quite finished. There's the important block in there. It's probably the closest that the Toffees have come to a second. As Muthoot giving it away, and not the position they would have wanted to. Vital challenge though to recover. And an easy one for the referee when you see that nudge in the back to award the free kick to Muthoot, which I think they'll take just to settle things down again.
Silly is the way to describe that, I think, from the Everton substitute striker. He didn't need to be on your screens now. This was a really good chance for Everton, really good footwork. I don't think he meant to shoot that. I don't think that was the intended aim of that apparent cross. But the goalkeeper did what he had to. He got a hand on. Thankfully, it didn't end up in the back of his neck. It's a 2-goal deficit. Really would have been a concern now so late on. But look, we've got 30 seconds. You've got maybe a minute added on from stoppages. Fair few substitutions due to the roll and roll off format of the tournament, and they're really going to have to make it every second of this count. Muthoot after getting away with that crossbar efforts.
Krishna, who is back on the field, the number 9, he's had a couple of chances so far.
They can't afford to be giving the ball away here, and Everton taking their time. I don't think they're necessarily aware of the stop clock.
And it's going to be interesting for Muthoot, because they, of course, don't particularly know how much longer they've got to get an equaliser, because there's no official confirmation of how long the clock had been stopped for as we go into the last few knockings.
It just makes every single kick of the ball more important for them. You can't rush, obviously. Football's not a frantic game. You need to be composed. But at the same time, you can't take your time I know it sounds paradoxical here, and I'm making it sound much more easy than it is.
It's a difficult one, and it's not what these players will be used to.
Not at all. There's an equilibrium here. But Everton are looking like they found it here.
It's a fantastic dart forward, this, isn't it? From the number 11 Cappy. Not a bad pick out too. What can Everton come up with so late on? Nothing, thanks to the fantastic defending from Muthoot, but there was a touch, and it is still going to be a corner for the Toffees. In fact, there's not going to be time to take it, and I think Everton will take that, because it means that they are the first team to get a victory in the Premier League Next Generation Cup. It was a tight game, that's for sure, but it was Rennes' early second half effort which was the difference between the two sides, as the final score on pitch 2 is Everton 1, Muthoot 0. And one thing that is happening in the Next Generation Cup 2022, we believe, is that a penalty shootout will take place after every game, no matter the result. Another bit of experience that all these players can pick up in this kind of high-pressure environment. And if they are to win the penalty shootout, whichever side does, they get 1 point in the table. So even though Everton have picked up 3 points for winning the game, Muthoot can still get 1 point on the table if they are to win this penalty shootout, which will be coming up.
I see no reason why they can't. See no reason why they can't. They've shown that they're decent finishers, forcing Pickford to make a couple really important saves, but same again, Anas had to make quite a few cat-like saves when he had to pounce to reach the top-hand corner of his goal very early on in the first half, and he hasn't had to deal with much more. Obviously, he had no chance with the goal from Rennes, who we had a close-up of, just to kind of give him a little glory shot on our screens and for the people at home to see as the match winner. But now we've got an opportunity for a second match winner.
And do you think it affects, well, I mean, both Everton and Muthoot in terms of Everton, of course, winning the game? Will they go into this penalty shootout with more confidence, perhaps? Or do you think you just take it as a completely different opportunity just to get 1 point on the table?
It's a single kick of the ball, this, isn't it? It's not 5 passes from your goalkeeper to your striker. It's not a direct long ball. You're not receiving the ball. You've got 3-4 steps to that football, and you've got to have your mind made up. It's not as easy, it's not as straightforward as it may seem. I'm sure a lot of people at home know that. It's a nerve-wracking experience, just as much as it is to start a match, to play in a match, if not more, because you're on your own there. You've got a team behind you, you've got a team with you, you've got a man to pass to. If the nerves are getting to you, this is you against the keeper. It's mental strength there, and you reset. I think they've got the time now as well, just to talk to their coaches, distance themselves from what's just happened in the game, and this is a fresh start.
I think everything you've mentioned there is the exact reason why I never took a penalty and was never brave enough to step up. So whoever is to step up at this young age for either side, it's going to be fair play to them.
Also mentionable, as you say, they're young. We've got under 21s, we've got under 19s. They're not going to have much experience in a penalty shootout. They may have done it in training, they may have even played a couple penalty shootouts, but this is for a point in a tournament. It's not a friendly little kick around. This really matters now. It's not post-match, okay, we'll just spend time with each other.
It's not, as you say, it's not just for a little bit of experience. It might actually affect how, you know, who plays in the final, who doesn't. And even though Muthoot lost in the 90, they've showed they're capable of still getting somewhere in this group stage. Of course, with still 2 games and 3 penalty shootouts to play.
A 2-point deficit's a very different story to a 3-point deficit, Tyler, as we all know. That's a win. A win, the goal difference, the head-to-head, that won't matter to them anymore. You get this point, you get the extra win, because it's a competitive, difficult group stage for both teams. No easy matches, but it's a completely different story. This loss may not be as significant as it may feel right now, and it is very heavy on their shoulders. I am sure of that. It looks like Everton are taking the first kick, though. What do you think? Do you think that makes it easier or harder?
Well, the stats show that whoever takes the first kick, penalty kick, in a shootout is usually the team that goes on to win it. Not always, but there is some kind of advantage. Of course, there's going to be more high-pressure situations taking second. There's more likely to be a moment where you have to score to win or have to score to stay in it, which makes it more difficult to Muthoot. So I'd imagine in the coin toss that took place before, that Everton would have won that coin toss knowing that and would have wanted to take first.
I guess that's England's excuse as well then, yeah? But no, it's a really nervy one for Finney, as well as substitution. So he's not played the full length of the game. He didn't start it, so he didn't have those jitters. So just like he was thrown into the match, he's thrown into the penalty shootout. So that shows a lot of confidence from the young lads.
So as you say, it's Finney who steps up first, and it's a first big save from Anas down to his left to deny the Everton defender.
Yes.
And straight away it's advantage Muthoot from the shootout.
Well, you've seen the replay. It's coming up now on your screens. He tried the one step, he tried the over Tony, and fair play to Anas. He stayed low. He kept his feet outstretched, and he saved it with his foot. It's probably a shin pad, in fact. But yeah, it wasn't the best of penalties, unfortunately, from Finney, but it's always difficult to save a penalty.
Well, Adnan is going for that short run-up, just like the Everton man who just missed. What can the Muthoot substitute do in their first kick in the shootout? Well, it's the same way and it's the same outcome. This time it's Pickford who's down quickly to make the save.
It's a story of the goalkeepers. They're still in the show today. Some show-stopping saves, first of all, in the match. And as you see here, he dives to his left. Brilliant. Palms it away to his left hand side. And you just see the head drop there of Muthoot. They're back level, and that was a really, really good opportunity for them to add to the stats of the second penalty-taking team, wasn't it?
Well, this is going to be interesting because it's the goal scorer, Keane Wren, who now steps up for Everton. And what can he do? He can send the goalkeeper the wrong way and get the first goal of the shootout. He scored in the 50, I should say. He's now scored in the penalty shootout, and it's Everton who take the lead.
Well, what you were saying about confidence from the match, maybe that matters. Maybe that does matter, and Wren's shown that. We had two substitutes actually taking the first two penalties, but Wren, the one who's had the biggest influence on the 50 minutes, has had the biggest influence so far in the penalty shootouts.
So what can Muthoot do in terms of following up in the next kick? And that's a cool penalty. It's Enas sending the keeper the wrong way and levelling things up in the shootout.
Well, that's the best of the bunch. You thought lucky number 3, well, that's lucky number 4. For Muthoot, it's a really, really solid strike. You've seen actually now, you'll see hopefully actually if the screens cut to it, the Everton goalkeeper, Pickford, just hyping his player up. Now we've got Foster taking it and just giving him some words of advice. Perhaps he knows the mind games better than the forward when it comes to goalkeepers.
So what can he do? Foster stepping up. Oh, it's fantastic. Right into the top corner. A rocket into the top corner. No chance for the Muthoot goalkeeper. And Everton back in front.
Well, he took inspiration there from Enas. It was a carbon copy. Power, precision. The goalkeeper's got no chance. Unfortunately for him, I mean, he's guessed the right way, but he's pouring at that. Again, with his cat-like reflexes, you can't reach that. Just the height on it, the lofts, took it well past him.
This time it's Mim, and Mim is denied. A fantastic save down to the right. And all of a sudden, it's advantage Everton in the shootout with 2 kicks to go.
And this is where the pressure comes, because you said, okay, the pressure and the expectation is always on the team kicking second, but they need to get the advantage. Every kick matters. You're always expected to score in a penalty shootout. You can't, and the tables turn immediately against you. So he's really got to keep the pressure on Muthoot from this kick.
So Catby stepping up and scoring, putting Everton 1 kick away from penalty shootout victory. And now the pressure's really on Muthoot.
Yeah, he looks confident stepping up. You've got the swinging arms, you've got the swagger, and you've just got on your screen that advantage giving goal to Everton. It was a really confident finish there. He knew exactly where he wanted to place it.
And it's Krishna who has to score for Muthoot. He does score in style, as if there was no pressure on him. Fantastic penalty, but Everton can still win it with the next one.
Yeah, the pressure's really on now, isn't it? He's got to score this. He knows that. He doesn't want to take this to sudden death. That's where the jitters really get going. And you tend to pick, or select at least, your best 5, don't you, for the first 5 penalties. And so you're really hoping they get the job done here.
It is another substitute for Everton. He wasn't on for too long. That will take the right winger, Inaka Akiri, to win it for the Toffees. They won in the 90. Can they win in the shootout? Yes, they can. Despite the goalkeeper going the right way. It was a fantastic penalty. There was no chance for Anna Singhal, and it's Everton who not only get the 3 points from the 50-minute game, but also get the extra point now from the penalty shootout. 1-0 the full-time score in the match. 4-2 to Everton on penalties.
Yeah, no, superb there from the Everton youngster. I mean, he slotted that way perfectly, didn't he? He'd taken a bit of inspiration. He'd printed this photo image in his brain of where he wanted to place that. And he's executed it perfectly. Unfortunate for the goalkeeper, but again, congratulations to Everton.
You are now straight away, just like that, 4 points clear at the top of the table, which will give them some confidence boost going into tomorrow when they next play. But what have you made of the first game, the first 50 minutes, of course, in this tournament?
It's set a standard, I think, for the later game at 3 PM that we will be covering here, which you can tune into. And but I definitely think it's set a standard for Tottenham later. And they've all done themselves really proud. So yeah, they can all hold their heads up high, both sides. A 1-0 result is never disappointing for either side. I mean, it's given them 4 points in the end, Everton, but it's not put Muthoot out of the equation either.
So we're almost ready to get some reaction. We will be getting some reaction pitch side from the Everton match winner in Rennes.
Yeah, and he deserves that. He deserves a little bit of fame.
So we'll send you straight there to pitch side, where the goal scorer, the match winner, Rennes, is joined by Grant Ibokwe, all on pitch side.
I'm here with the Premier League Next Gen Cup. Everton's just beaten Muthoot FC 1-0, and I'm with the goal scorer, match winner, Kian. How are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Not too bad, man. I'm excited to be here. First game, first goal. How you feeling?
Feeling very good. Good to get the win and win penalty shootout as well.
True, very true. Penalty shootouts. In case you don't know, there's going to be a penalty shootout after every game in the group stages for an extra bonus point. Everton definitely upped it in the second half. I feel like, if I can say, your first half performance was a bit slower, but you definitely upped it in the second half. What did your coaches tell you in order to get that performance out of you?
Just like always the front three, just movements, like in and out, then just 1-2s and good play to get the goal. And yeah.
Yeah, that's literally how your goal came about, the movement, and then literally ball across the box. How are you lot going to take it moving forward? Because you've got a couple more games in the group stages. What have you learned from this game in order to move forward?
The heat and the Indians are quite aggressive and fast, so we just need to recover, ready for the next game.
One question I want to ask you, you've obviously got an esteemed Everton legend on your coaching bench, Leighton Baines. What's it like to be coached by someone that's so entrenched in the club, knows the club so well?
It's unbelievable. He's got loads of tactics and like passion, and if we make a sloppy mistake, he's always onto us and like make us look better player. So yeah.
Amazing. And one last thing I want to ask you. One player in the match, who would you nominate as your Everton man of the match for this game?
Alid, number 5.
I'll make sure I give Alid number 5 a shout out. If he sees this, make sure you give it a wave. Thank you so much for that, Kian. Well done on the goal.
Cheers.
Back to you in the gantry.
Well, there was the match winner and his reaction after giving Everton the first big boost in the Premier League Next Generation Cup 2024. But not a bad game that to get us going. And one thing we mentioned before the game was the condition of the pitches for this competition. We can see straight away that the pitches are being worked on for the next game. And the next game, which is at 3 p.m. local time, it's Stellenbosch against Tottenham on Pitch 3. But for now, here at the end of the morning games, it's finished Everton 1, Muthoot 0, with Everton also winning on penalties.